A desperate search for a 23-year-old Philadelphia woman. Kada Scott was last seen 4 days ago. Her family says she was at work one moment and gone the next. They also say she was being harassed over the phone by a stranger. And Steve, you spoke with Kada's family tonight. What did they tell you?
Well, this is where she went to work late Saturday night, and this is the same spot where she never came home from work early Sunday morning.
I think it's definitely wrong. She wouldn't just leave and not contact anyone, none of her friends, family.
People ride so fast, they wouldn't be able to see it anyway.
Two aunts stapled missing flyers where their niece, 23-year-old Kada Scott, was last seen before she just vanished.
She was last seen by her mother the night before at approximately 9:50 p.m. when Miss Scott was leaving for work.
Her phone been off since Saturday, well, to my knowledge, since Sunday morning, and it's going completely right straight to voicemail.
Kada, seen here when competing in the Miss Philadelphia Township pageant, just started working 2 weeks ago here at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill Senior Home to help pay for her college. She was working a 10 p.m. Saturday to 6 a.m. Sunday shift, just 5 minutes from her home, but she went missing here before her shift even ended, where we found what police did. No surveillance or security video cameras around here.
We do know she did arrive at work. She works at a nearby nursing home. However, we know that she left prior to her shift's completion.
She did not work her full shift. The car was still sitting in the parking lot. So it's like she vanished. They would, no cameras, no nothing. So where is she?
What do you think's going on here? What do you think happened?
I have no idea. That's the problem. We're trying to piece it together. She went into a job for a normal shift, and she didn't finish the shift and come home. So that's when the problem started. And that's where we're at right now, trying to figure out what's going on, where she's at, when did she actually leave the facility.
We did interview co-workers. There was nothing too extravagant in her statements.
Police say Scott had recently told family and friends a stranger or strangers were harassing her over the phone. Police processed her car and found nothing to hint foul play. But missing are the car keys, Kada's iPad, iPhone, and Apple Watch. None of them now traceable. All of which police sources say she used to grow a big following on social media and now wonder if a follower is involved in her disappearance somehow.
We're doing a deep dive on all her social media as we speak, and those are things we're going to be looking at.
Is there fear that somebody got obsessed with her and fell in love with her and found out where she worked and everything and maybe went and grabbed her?
It's a possibility, yes. Anything can happen. So that's what I'm afraid of, because at this point, it's something wrong.
All right, so the missing posters all say she was last seen wearing a fitted all-black jogging set. And last seen here, where both police and family were 4 hours on Monday, interviewing, searching, hoping, but coming up empty for both video and answers.
Bye. Keon out here.
This morning, police investigating this video showing who they believe to be Keon King, the suspect connected to the disappearance of 23-year-old nursing assistant Kada Scott, a man seen peeking through the window from outside in the yard. It's unclear when or where this video was taken. Now, the race against time to find Scott, who police say vanished mid-shift while working at this assisted living facility in Philadelphia nearly 2 weeks ago.
We need to find Miss Scott, figure out where she is, or what may have happened to her to cause her to completely disappear from all her items, her phone.
Authorities say they believe Scott was last in contact with 21-year-old King, arrested and charged with kidnapping and recklessly endangering another person, and is being held on a $2.5 million bail. Investigators say before Scott disappeared, she told relatives she was being harassed, though it has yet to be determined if the person harassing her was King. But officials say their suspect does have a pattern of similar crimes.
He did have a previous case. It was a 2025 case for very similar conduct, strangulation and kidnapping. That case had been withdrawn by our office based on the witness failing to appear at court. I pulled that file, and after an extensive review of it, our office made the decision to refile those charges.
Investigators relying on tips from the public, crediting one of those tips with helping to find the suspect's car. Scott's family not giving up hope, urging anyone with information to speak up.
If you have any information, small, large, minuscule, please reach out to the Philadelphia Police Department and let them know that may be the piece that they're looking for. We all miss her. We want her home.
And again, that suspect is facing kidnapping charges, even as police continue looking for Kada. He's being held on a $2.5 million bond. He has not entered a plea, but guys, we've reached out to his attorney for comment.
You don't reform from kidnapping. You learn how to hide it better. If you haven't been following this story, 23-year-old Kada Scott has been missing out of Philadelphia since early October. Police now have a suspect, Keon King, in custody, but right now the only file they can charge is kidnapping because Kada still has not been found. Here's what I don't fucking get. This isn't his first time. Earlier this year, he was charged with kidnapping and assaulting another woman, but the case got dropped when the victim didn't show up to court. Now, just months later, another woman disappears. Investigators have found Kada's belongings scattered across the city. His car's been impounded, and the homicide unit is now assisting with the case. I'm really hoping for the family that she's found alive, but regardless, it's clear something escalated. Philadelphia's DA just came out and said, we could have done better in regards to the first case being dropped. So this young lady paid for the state's incompetence, and all she gets is we could have done better. Keon King is being held on a $2.5 million bond, which means they may have reason to believe that she's no longer alive. When violent offenders face no consequences, they don't stop. The story never changes. The faces do. The system gives them another chance, and someone else pays the price.
The justice system failed Kada Scott because why was this man out walking these streets? This man was arrested for kidnapping this year, and then the charges were dropped because the victim didn't show up to court. And now people are blaming the victim for him doing whatever he did to her. We all know that victims get threatened all the time when it comes to them coming on the stand, and this man has a history of abusing women. He was arrested for kidnapping and strangulation earlier this year, but those charges were dropped. He has a protection from abuse order out against him from another woman, and we've all seen a video of him peeking into that woman's window that he was dealing with, and mind you, she said that he abused her several times. And now the pattern is repeating itself, and his behaviors are escalating because now there's a possibility that he actually unalived the woman. Like, this woman's belongings were found in an abandoned school building. She's been missing for 2 weeks, and this man just turned himself in for kidnapping, which, mind you, is confusing to me because how you gonna turn yourself in for kidnapping but then not say where the kidnapping victim is? And people are mad at his other kidnapping victim for not showing up to court, saying that she's the reason why Kada got kidnapped. No, Keon King is the reason why Kada got kidnapped. But it's not just Keon's fault for doing it. It's the judge, it's the DA, it's the ADA, Ashley Kozlowski, for her to come on the news talking about well, his charges were dropped because the victim didn't come to court, making it seem like they actually need the victim to move forward with the charges. But then for her to say, well, I did an extensive review of the case and we refiled charges. It's too late for that, sis. Why y'all didn't do that before? It's because y'all did not care. Trying to save face, which is pathetic because it's too late. There's a life already potentially gone because of y'all being lazy. They know they wrong as hell because how 1 second you don't have enough evidence to move forward with the case because the victim didn't come to court, but now after looking at all the evidence, after you know another person's missing, now all of a sudden you have enough evidence to move forward with the case. Girl, bye. That extensive review of the case that y'all just did should have happened months ago. Kada Scott would still be here if that was the case. When Kada disappeared, she had just gotten to work. She actually went on a date to Topgolf prior to her coming to work, and when she got to work, she stepped out and met with Keon, and then after that is when she disappeared. I think that Keon found out that she went on a date, got mad, and he convinced her to come outside because we all know you're not going to step outside your job, especially at night. She was working an overnight shift for no reason unless you're picking up food or someone's dropping off something. She just got to work. You're not standing outside your job for no reason, especially at night. He probably convinced her to come outside saying that he had food or he was dropping off like loud or something because people saying that he a corner boy. And when she came outside, he told her to get in the car, and once she got in the car, he did whatever atrocities he did to her. Kada disappeared on October 4th, and she still not has been found. Her glasses, iPad case, her cell phone case, and her credit card were found in an abandoned elementary school. And Keon King is reportedly the last person to have seen and spoken to Kada, and he was arrested for her kidnapping. Pray that Kada is found safely and for peace and healing for her family, and I pray that he gets thrown under the jail where he belongs and where he should have been at.
Now to what appears to be devastating news in the case of a missing Philadelphia woman last seen 2 weeks ago while working at a nursing home. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more now on the search for Kada Scott. Morgan, you brought us the story yesterday, and now we have this update.
Yeah, certainly not the update that we want to be bringing you this morning. A heartbreaking development in the search for 23-year-old Kada Scott. After more than 2 weeks of searching, police say a very specific anonymous tip led detectives back to this abandoned elementary school where they uncovered a shallow grave in the woods with remains that they believe to be those of Kada Scott. Now, the medical examiner, of course, is working to confirm the identity, and investigators are in touch with Scott's family. Now, keep in mind, this is the same location where officers say they found her debit card and phone case last week during that search. Meanwhile, attention is back on 21-year-old Keon King, the man already arrested in connection with Kada's disappearance. You see him there. Police say that he was previously charged in another alleged kidnapping back in January. But of course, we know he walked free after posting cash bail. Now, authorities say that King was the last person seen with her, and they believe that she did not leave with him willingly. The suspect is being held on a $2.5 million bail, expected in court for his preliminary hearing next month. All eyes on this and whether he will have additional charges. Of course, authorities are investigating.
And we remember her family yesterday saying that they just wanted her back home. So this is just heartbreaking. We're thinking of them. Morgan, thank you so much.
So this is the school where they said that they found remains. I'm surprised they're letting us even walk, but supposedly they found her remains here, or someone's remains. They haven't identified her yet. The police are giving, I think, a press conference over here. The Ida Lewis School. It's a closed down school. It was a middle school. I know it's elementary, but it was a middle school that's been shut down for a while.
Yeah, sad.
I don't give a fuck. I came out my fucking house by myself to come look for this girl. By myself to come look for this girl. I don't fucking know her. Y'all found her. Y'all fucking found her. Y'all bullshit.
The community is all here.
This fucking girl. Oh, this shit not right.
See, I'm about to leave.
You need to be over here. No, fuck it. They saying that your brother
working on this case. More hired people working on this case than they ever did when the police officer got killed. We also asked them, when y'all search the school, did y'all search going back there in the woods? And they
They believe that they have found the body of the 23-year-old missing Philadelphia young lady who's been missing for about 2 weeks. Now, they found a body behind an abandoned middle school, and they say that that body couldn't have been there for no longer than a week, and it is a female. Now, Kada Scott's family has been actively looking for her, of course, even law enforcement, but her family showed up to the scene, and the press conference, though they were not able to confirm that it was her because they say they have to let the autopsy and the medical examiner confirm that her identity, like it is Kada Scott, the things that he was saying leads me to believe that they know it's her. Now, according to them, what brought them to this abandoned middle school was that they got an anonymous, very specific tip about a body being at this location. And they went and they found her body underneath a lot of debris. Now, one of the investigators that was there on the site said that underneath this debris, it was fresh dirt and a strange smell. And he said that's the #1 red flag, is the fresh dirt. He said they tried just digging with their hands, digging through that soil to uncover whatever was underneath it. And that's when they saw maggots. And then that smell of death started to just protrude from the ground. Now remember, Kada Scott vanished after leaving her job at an assisted living home on October 4th at 9:30 p.m. It's believed that she met up with someone and then she was never heard from again. They haven't been able to confirm if that someone is the person who was arrested and was charged with her kidnapping. Now that they have found her body, though they're still waiting to confirm it, I'm sure his charges will be upgraded. And this is the guy. His name is Keon King, and he was arrested for kidnapping, holding someone for ransom, false imprisonment, stalking. And he actually has taken advantage of other women in the past. They were able to do a deep dive into, his history, and he has a history of being violent with women. This is an extremely sad update, guys, but wow, 23 years old.
Developing overnight, sources tell Action News that initial DNA tests of human remains found over the weekend connect them to missing Philadelphia woman Kada Scott. District Attorney Larry Krasner plans to talk more about the case today. The remains were buried in a shallow grave behind a vacant school in the city's Germantown section over the weekend, while the last person to contact the 23-year-old remains in jail this morning. Action News reporter Kada Scott is live at the DA's office in Center City with what we know so far and what we hope to learn during this news conference. Catherine.
That's right, Matt. Sources say that the remains appear to be hers. At this point, we don't know the cause of death, but word came in overnight that the district attorney will be here today to announce the next steps in the prosecution of Keon King, who's already in custody in connection to this case. A memorial is growing outside this vacant school in Germantown, behind which a shallow grave containing human remains was discovered on Saturday. 2 weeks after 23-year-old Kada Scott disappeared while working her overnight shift at a senior living community in Chestnut Hill. Law enforcement sources now confirm that DNA testing indicates the remains are those of Kada Scott.
Apparently, whoever did know about it, they either been back here or they know somebody involved with it, but kind of disappointing that, they waited this long to say something about it.
21-year-old Keon King was charged last week for kidnapping and strangulation in this case, and in a separate case from earlier this year that had been initially dropped when the witness did not appear in court. Last week, law enforcement had searched the grounds near the school and found physical evidence, including Scott's phone case. They scoured nearby Albury Arboretum the week prior. Then over the weekend, First Deputy Police Commissioner John Stanford said a very specific anonymous tip came in and officers returned to the area behind the school around 10 a.m. on Saturday.
We began to go back into that area where we would locate a shallow grave after being able to remove some of the debris back there. We have to do everything in our power to ensure that we bring justice for this family and some level of closure.
Sources say police also recovered relevant surveillance footage from a nearby recreation center. Of course, we'll be covering this press conference today at the district attorney's office, and we'll let you know what happens. That takes place at 11. We are live in Center City. Kada Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
It's just such a sad and tragic ending to the search for Kada. Not the ending that anybody wanted to see. Catherine, thank you for the update. And the disappearance and death of Kada Scott here in Philadelphia has garnered national attention. We've been posting the latest developments on 6abc.com as well as the 6ABC app. There you can find a timeline of the investigation and more information about the suspect in this case.
Right now at 11, we are expecting to learn more information about the disappearance and death of Kada Scott. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Erin Coleman. Scott vanished 17 days ago from her job in Chestnut Hill. Two police sources confirming to our NBC 10 investigators that human remains found over the weekend belong to her. Right now, we do not know how she died. We do not know who is responsible, though police have arrested one person for kidnapping her. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner, he just stepped up to the podium to talk about this case. Let's listen in.
Which we focus on two different things. One of them being gun violence data, and another being a related special topic. That is not what we're doing today. This press conference is yielding to the needs and the wishes and the priorities of the family of Kada Scott. In the process of addressing those needs, we will be announcing that there are new charges being brought against Keon King. We'll get into the details, but the bottom line is a second case has already been approved, and we expect there to be a new arrest today, in all likelihood, of Keon King when he is brought in from the jail. The arrest will be for burning of a car, arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, several other charges, and we'll get into the details of that in a moment. But more than anything, as I said, this is a press conference that I hope will in some way address some of the needs and wishes of the family. At this time, I'd like to identify some of the good people who are here. We have with us Philadelphia City Council member Anthony Phillips from the 9th Council District, who has been extremely heavily involved in addressing the family's needs, as have other city officials, but extremely heavily involved, including in a meeting with the family where I was also present. He will be talking about the efforts that his office is making specifically to address the family's needs when he speaks later during this conference. We have First Assistant DA Robert Listenby here, ADA Ashley Tezlowski of the DAO's Homicide Non-Fatal Shooting Unit, who is handling this matter in close communication with me and others, but is handling this matter. We'll be addressing some of the new developments in the case. ADA Bob Wainwright, who is her chief, the chief of the DAO's Homicide Non-Fatal Shooting Unit, is present. Mariel Dela Cruz, who is the director of the DAO's Victim Services Unit, is here. Donna Wood, who is director of DAO's Relocation Unit, is here. We have Tania Leonard with us today, who is the director of the DAO's CARES Unit. And we have Marcus Allen. Mr. Allen is the cousin of Kada Scott on the mother's side, and he is present here on behalf of the family of Kada Scott. While he will not be reading it, he will be standing with us when a statement from the mother and father of Kada Scott is read today. That statement will also be put up on the screen so that you will have the text of it. Over the last several weeks, Mayor Sherelle Parker, the Philadelphia Police Department, the Philadelphia DA's office, elected local officials as well as faith leaders and community leaders have been showing acts of kindness, support, advocacy, prayer for Kada Scott's family. Yesterday, I had the chance to visit Kada Scott's mother, father, sister, uncle, and cousins, along with Philadelphia City Council member Anthony Phillips and some other members of our team, to speak to them, to listen to and to access their current needs, to explore how the DAO can assist them and walk with them through this horrific and difficult journey, to express our condolences to them in person, and to offer resources through our external engagement operations, which include our Victim Services Unit and our CARES Unit. We also were there to provide the most recent update on the investigation, to answer their questions about the prosecutorial process, its details, its timing, and what they, as a family, can expect next in the criminal justice process. It was very important to me for them to get some details about the case, which is developing almost hourly from us, and not just from the media. And that is no disrespect to the media, but it's hard for a family to read and learn things about a loved one for the first time on a television screen or on social media or by reading an article. So we wanted to make sure that we conveyed to them as early as possible, as much as possible, so that they would have the information that they wanted and that they needed. During the sit down with the family, we made a commitment that today's press conference would be all about their daughter. And therefore, as I've already mentioned, there are certain things that we want to cover today. We want to cover a statement that is to be read and released to the media on behalf of the family, specifically written and approved by the mother and father of Kada Scott. We want to cover some recent developments within the investigation and prosecution of Keon King. We want to continue our request for the community's assistance, tips, and information that would help the investigation and strengthen the prosecution against defendant Keon King. Let's understand the community has already done tremendous work in aiding progress with this investigation. We are simply asking for more. And we also want to convey the upcoming effort to support the family of Kada Scott, led by City Council Member Anthony Phillips of the 9th Council District, including the use of his office for that purpose, and we will let him speak about that. I'd like to start with the family's statement. Tania Leonard, who is the director of the DAO's CARES unit, and Mariel Dela Cruz, Jessica Serrano, victim witness coordinator, will stand with Tania, is going to read that statement on behalf of the family. Standing with them, of course, will be Mr. Marcus Allen. Although he will not be speaking today, he will be here at their request and as their presence in this moment. You should know that Tania, who was present when Councilmember Phillips and I spoke to the family, will be working collaboratively with them and with our internal and external victim advocates to prioritize critical, necessary services to support the family and communities that are impacted by this horrific killing. Tania Leonard and friends.
Good morning. I'm Tania Leonard, the Director of Crisis Assistance, Response, and Engagement Unit here at the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. And on behalf of the CARES unit, I want to begin by extending our deepest care and support to the family of Kada Scott during this unimaginable, difficult time. CARES was created to stand with families who have experienced this type of tragedy and to walk beside them, help them access the support they need, and ensure they are not alone in days and weeks ahead. Yesterday evening, members of our team met with the mother and father of Kada Scott at their home alongside the district attorney to offer our continued presence, resources, and support as they navigate this profound loss. At this time, with the family's permission, we'll share a statement prepared by Kada's mother and father as we stand in solidarity with the family as a unit, as victim advocates, and as an office during this journey of grief and healing. Today, we'll say her name. Tomorrow, we'll say her name. And forever, we will say her name. It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved daughter, Kada Scott. We kindly ask for space and privacy at this time as we process the heartbreaking events of the past few weeks. Our hearts are shattered, yet we are deeply grateful for the outpouring of love, support, and prayers from people across the nation and around the world. Please continue to keep us in prayer as we navigate this unimaginable loss. Our hearts are broken beyond measure. We are profoundly thankful to every person who shared Kada's story, joined the search efforts, prayed with us, and stood by our family during this devastating time. Your compassion, love, and strength have carried us when we could not carry ourselves. Kada was deeply loved. Her light, kindness, and beautiful spirit will forever remain in our hearts. We also wish to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Sherelle Parker, the Philadelphia Police Department, all first responders, local volunteers, community organizations, and media outlets, as well as everyone who worked tirelessly to help find our daughter. Although the outcome is one no parent should ever have to face, we remain thankful for the unity, leadership, and love that surrounded us through it all. As we continue to grieve, our family now seeks justice for Kada. We place our full trust in the Philadelphia Police Department and the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office to ensure that the truth is revealed and that those responsible are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Please honor Kada's memory by showing kindness and care to one another, just as she did every day of her life. With love, strength, and gratitude, the family of Kada Scott.
Thank you, Tania Leonard. Ashley Teslowski will be, at this time, lead counsel in the prosecution of Keon King and has been working tirelessly on every aspect of the case, including obtaining a warrant that contains additional charges. Those charges include arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automobile, receiving stolen property, reckless endangerment of another person, tampering with evidence. We are not done, but this is a significant development in the prosecution itself, and obviously there have been other developments already reported over the weekend in the case. It is my pleasure to call forward Ashley Tuslowski, who does about as good a job as anyone I've ever seen.
Thank you. As of last night, our office approved charges, as the DA just said, of arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automobile, tampering with evidence, recklessly endangering another person, and receipt of stolen property. Those charges are in reference to the burning of a vehicle. That vehicle is a 2008 black Hyundai Accent. That vehicle first entered our radar last week. Investigators received a tip that there was a vehicle burning and that vehicle had some connection to this case. At the time last week, when investigators went to the location where the vehicle was burned, that vehicle was no longer there. It had already been towed, compacted, and was in a junkyard. This weekend, we recovered additional evidence, including video evidence that confirms that this vehicle, we believe, is the vehicle that Mr. Keon King used to move Ms. Scott. We recovered video out from near the Ada Lewis Middle School, where our search and the investigator search has been focused. There's a rec center directly next to that school. Video evidence was recovered from that rec center, and we are now able to say that this Hyundai Accent was on location at all of the times we're looking at all of the pertinent points in the investigation. That vehicle was stolen on October 3rd from the area of 6600 Sprague Street. We believe that vehicle is the vehicle that was used in this case. That vehicle was then on scene at that rec center, which ultimately, as we all know, is where we found Ms. Scott's human remains. Video evidence indicates it was on location. Video evidence then indicates it leaves the location. It is burned on October 7th. It was located at the 2300 block of 74th Avenue. When this new video evidence was uncovered this weekend, investigators from the homicide unit cross-referenced all of this information with the cell phone evidence that we had already gained and we had already been using in terms of the kidnapping case and other charges. What I can share is that the cell phone evidence, the call detail records, and timing advance data as it pertains to Keon King's mobile device puts him at all of the locations that we're talking about. It's on scene when the Hyundai Accent is there at the recreation center. It is on scene when the vehicle is burned. Based on that, last night I approved those charges, and as the DA said, we should have more information in terms of bail and a preliminary hearing date, hopefully this afternoon or certainly by tomorrow.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate those details. Just a reminder to those in the public who have been so helpful, I think you just heard Ashley Tuslowski talking about the fact that this burning automobile was connected to this case in part due to a tip from the public. I'm not kidding when I say that the public has played an enormous role here. I would ask residents of Philadelphia to continue reaching out with tips and information to seek justice for the family of Kada Scott and to allow us to have all the facts so we can justly and vigorously prosecute defendant Keon King and any other people who may have been involved with his activity. Philadelphia Police Department can accept this information at 215-686-TIPS. In other words, 215-686-TIPS. You could also call the DA's office at 215-686-8000, and we will make sure that your information is considered. as an aspect of this investigation. It is now my pleasure to introduce Philadelphia City Council member Anthony Phillips of the 9th Council District, who has been on this, along with other city officials, to include Mayor Sherrell Parker, Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel, Council President Kenyatta Johnson, faith leaders, members of the faith community. Councilmember Phillips has been there from the start, and he has more to do. He has more to say about what it is the public can do to further assist this family. We are excited to have the opportunity to support the upcoming efforts of Councilmember Phillips in the mighty 9th Council District. And we are also delighted to continue our collaboration and partnership with him in many other ways as well. Councilmember Phillips.
Good morning. Thank you, District Attorney Krasner, for your efforts to bring this monster to justice. I'm not here to talk about the monster. I'm here to talk about Kada and the family. As District Attorney pointed out just recently, we had the opportunity to meet with the family of Kada. We had, quite a, some private conversation about some things that were really important to the family. And what we determined from that conversation from the family is the kindness and wonderfulness of who Kada was. And after speaking with the family, they told us some things that could be helpful to them. And so myself and our office has decided that we're going to try to support them in their efforts to help them with their needs. But before I begin, I just want to make this announcement. I just want to say that Kada Scott mattered. Her life matters. She was a kind woman. She, as the family has pointed out, Kada was kind. She was kind in how she helped support the elderly at her work. She was kind to her friends. She was kind to her family, her school teachers that she had, high school principals talked about her college administrators and staff and professors have spoken about her. They talked about her contagious joy and smile and wonderfulness. And so we're reminded that, tragedy strikes here in Philadelphia, and nothing can cease the pain that this family is going through. But what we can do as a city, and what we've been doing for the past several weeks as a city, is showing our kindness to this family. Because Kada is someone who could have been our sister, our cousin, just someone that is a friend or family member in our lives. That decency is something that we know throughout our lives, and it could have been anybody, any one of us. So I want you to know that because of that, Philadelphia cares, and because the family has asked for us to show kindness, to leave her legacy of kindness in a way that is shown and demonstrated. Today, our office has the intentions to open up a collection effort starting tomorrow with our office to collect gifts and items for Kada's family. Some of the items the 9th District Office is accepting for the Scott family during this difficult time include self-care items, toiletries, comfort and relaxation products, gift cards such as meal delivery services, or general gift cards such as a Visa gift card or other store-related gift cards. For food, non-perishable food items, these gifts are intended for Kada's mother, father, and high school-age sister, a young woman. The high school-age sister is a young woman who continues to show incredible strength as she strives to prepare for college amid such heartbreak. We want her to know that her entire community stands behind her and cheering her on. So if donations can be dropped off at our office, City Councilmember Anthony Phillips' office on Wadsworth Avenue, located at 1514 Wadsworth Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19150. Our office is going to be open from 8:30 to 4:30, Tuesday through Friday, starting this week. We're going to have special Saturday hours on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Where people can send their donations, bring their donations as well. If you have any questions, please call our office at 215-686-3454. This is an opportunity, again, for the city of Philadelphia to reflect the kindness. Again, I want to say this is an opportunity for the city of Philadelphia to reflect the kindness that Kada has shared. And we've already done that by helping promote and get the level of justice that she needs. But now let's show the family that we're not only there for them in that tragic moment, but we're going to be there for them after. So please, please make sure that we get as many donations as possible to 1514 Wadsworth Avenue, October 21st to the 25th. Our office is open 8:30 to 4:30 from Tuesday through Friday. And this Saturday, we're going to be open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Again, self-care items, gift cards, and food and non-perishable items. Also want to remind folks that we did have opportunity to speak to the family. And one of the things that the family did note to us, which is really important, is that they did say in their statement, respect their privacy. So that's why we're collecting the donations at our office, and we're going to be delivering it to them at a location that they want to be delivered to. But I want you to also know that they don't want people knocking on their doors, including members of the press, because it's traumatizing for them right now. You know, it's really traumatizing for them right now. And so we would like for folks to just hang off, members of the press to hang off for now from knocking on their doors, because that's what the family has desired. And I just, you know, we want to make sure that we, you know, we respect their wishes. All right? Thank you so much.
You've been listening there to District Attorney Larry Krasner and others giving us an update on the Kada Scott investigation, starting off by reading a statement from her family saying that their hearts are shattered, asking for space and privacy as they deal with the loss of their daughter. One of the most significant new pieces of information we learned is that new charges have been brought against Keon King, who was already under arrest for kidnapping, now facing additional charges related to the burning of a car. Tip call came in about that car. We've got a reporter in the news conference monitoring the DA's news conference right now. We're going to update you more on what he says at 11:30. Right now on NBC 10, we have weeks worth of details surrounding this case. Be sure to also download our app for any breaking details in this story.